Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We are going to be talking about Caramel Sundays Peach Pecan Crunch. Now, I talked about it a little bit more in depth with my, the cranberry orange marmalade review that I did yesterday. You guys know this is not really, the candle is not yet really at the point where I typically like to film my post burn reviews. But I did mention that because time is of the essence, and this is one of the candles that is going to be available this Sunday, August 23rd, in their August restock, I figured that it would be just a good idea to let you guys know what I'm smelling on warm, give you guys some of my initial impressions, because we all know candles can really change from cold sniff to what we smell once you take a flame to it. And I thought that that might be helpful because I have a feeling a lot of you guys are in the same boat as I am. So many candles, so much of a budget, right? So I am wanting to give you guys some of these kind of initial post burn thoughts so that way you guys can make a decision about where you might want to spend your money this weekend. So this is one of their 2 wick vessels. These will retail for $34. Peach Pecan Crunch is only coming back, I believe, in this format. I don't think that this one is on the updated list of soy wax melts. Make sure you're following Caramel Sundays over on Instagram if you're on that platform, or if you are on Facebook. They do have a Facebook group, and I think somebody kindly posted in there the updated wax melts. But yeah, make sure you're following one of those accounts there so that way you know if there have been any changes. But as of right now, you guys, it looks like Peach Pecan Crunch will only be available in this format. I believe that this is a returning fragrance. I did not pick this up last year because you guys all know I am married to an avowed peach hater. Um, so it's only been until recently that I've started dipping my toe because I personally really do like peach fragrances. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to burn those when he is not home. And a little bit of a spoiler alert, he did not complain about this fragrance when he came home from work today. So that's probably a good thing. Other little thing that I'm going to let you guys know as we start talking about the fragrance on this, I am going to do a comparison to the salted peach butter that was out about 6 months ago. Just let you guys know what some of the differences might be to my nose. So let's go ahead and talk about Peach Pecan Crunch. The fragrance notes are listed as top notes of gooey peach and brown sugar, mid notes of maple and candied pecans, and a base note of warm Belgian bread. So I'm going to tell you guys on cold, this fragrance did, I will say that the peach note is definitely most prominent. You definitely pick up on peach, and it is the same peach note that I picked up in their salted peach butter, which I think I had purchased that back in the March or April restock. One of those was when it was available. And here's the thing, salted peach butter, I went ahead and looked at my review for that to see what the fragrance notes were because I wanted to see how similar they were. So salted peach butter had fragrance notes of top notes of peach nectar and honey, mid notes of creamed brown sugar, base note of sea salt and vanilla butter. So I'm going to tell you guys, even though on cold the peach note is the same, it's kind of a funny thing that has happened here. So on cold, I actually like Peach Pecan Crunch more. However, burning, I think I prefer salted peach butter, and here is why. On burn, my nose is still definitely picking up peach. You guys, this is still definitely very much a peach fragrance, but my nose is definitely honing in on the brown sugar. And there is a little bit of a candied pecan note in here. It's not super nutty, but I will say that this fragrance is a little bit warmer. Um, excuse me. I think that this is definitely like the fall sibling to salted peach butter. But for me personally, you guys, peach is a fragrance that I tend to gravitate towards late spring, summer. Even I would say late summer, it's like a transitional. If truthfully, I'm going to be very blunt. I actually feel like this is a type of fragrance that would have been really good to have in the July restock because this is a fragrance that burns really nicely with blueberry fragrances. In fact, the first time that I burned this the other day, I actually finished up my, it's not Dad's Blueberry Cobbler, it's the Blueberry Bakehouse, kind of like a blueberry scent. And then the second time I burned it alongside Double Dip Danish. I like to combine peach with blueberry scents, but I feel like that's a really good like August type of fragrance. So I will tell you guys, I personally don't really burn peach in the fall months, like in September, in the burr months, I shall say. This is a very different peach note than what you would get if you picked up Fall Farmhouse. Completely different fragrance. Like they're not even the same. Fall Farmhouse is definitely peach and pear with a lot of spices in it. There's no pear in this. But but going back to why I like the salted peach butter a little bit more than this one on burn is because while this is burning, while I still detect peach, I'm definitely getting brown sugar and I am getting a little bit more density, I would say. And you all know recently I've been talking about how I don't think that I am as much of a gourmand lover as I always have thought I was. I think my nose is changing. And while this is not a bad fragrance, I don't even really see myself at this point decluttering this. This is a fragrance to me that it's not as peachy or sweet, I think, as what I was wanting it to be. I think Sierra had talked about this in the stories when she was talking about describing this fragrance. There is something about this that it does remind you of kind of like the topping that would be on like a baked peach dessert. Whether that would be there's no oats or anything like that, but it's just kind of like the almost like a caramelized crust or something that you would find on the top of peaches. Again, no oatiness to it. There's a little bit more density. Those of you who really love like pecan, brown sugar types of notes to be more at the forefront with a little bit of fruit in the background, I think you're really going to love this fragrance. But I will say that for my own personal fragrance preferences, I think I prefer salted peach butter because again, those had more it was more of like a sweet peach. There was some grounding of like a vanilla butter and the brown sugar, but the brown sugar, like the notes here say that it was more of like a creamed brown sugar. It just felt a little bit lighter and airier. I felt like the peach was more forward in salted peach butter. Like all of the other notes kind of came alongside to amplify the peach notes. Whereas I feel like in this peach pecan crunch, the main like the main character here is definitely more of the brown sugar and the candied pecans. I'm not detecting a ton of maple in here, you guys. This is not like a pancake scent or anything like that. I mean, it might lend a little bit of sweetness, but to me, this is not as sweet of a fragrance as the salted peach butter. So hopefully, if you're familiar with salted peach butter, maybe if that one was a little bit too sweet for you, you might appreciate the peach pecan crunch. Like I said, if you're somebody who likes more of the brown sugar, the pecan, to be a little bit more in the forefront, I think that you're really going to appreciate that. Now, so far, you guys, I've burned this. This is about my third burn. I've been burning this one for goodness, probably about 3 hours now at this point. You guys know I do burn in hurricanes. So the first two burns, I did burn this as a complimentary fragrance in my bedroom, which is a closed concept. I would say that this fragrance, you guys, is about a 6.5, 7 in this 2-wick format. It's going to get lost out in a big open concept style home. But out here in my open concept today, when I've been burning it, I definitely pick up on it. I would give it probably about a 7. It's not as light out here in the open concept as, say, the cranberry orange marmalade. I feel like this is maybe one notch up. However, in fairness, I think one of the things that we all need to recognize is sometimes it's not that I don't like brown sugar notes, but like I said, I'm picking up on a density to this fragrance. And I think sometimes when we smell something that our nose doesn't particularly love, we tend to hone in on it a little bit more. So I'm wondering, like, is this actually throwing a lot more, or is it more so that my nose is just honing in on that brown sugar and the pecan? I don't know, but I really do think, you guys, that this is probably more so around like a 7 in a hurricane. It's not going to smack you in the face in an open concept. It's going to be really nice in a closed concept. If you have, a smaller room that you're planning to burn this in an apartment, or you have lower ceilings, you're definitely going to be satisfied with this. But again, this is a very warm, more brown sugar pecan with peach kind of taking a back seat as the burn goes on, right? Which is, when you see top, middle, and base notes, that's what they're there for, right? The base notes are going to make themselves known the longer that you burn a candle. Mid notes are kind of always there. Top notes, sometimes they start out there, but then they can kind of fade. And that's just kind of how a candle is constructed. So overall, you guys, this is what I'm going to say. I don't see myself decluttering this fragrance because I do have enough other candles in my collection at this point that I feel like this, complements. Who knows? Maybe down the road, I might be like, I've had enough of that pecan and brown sugar. But at this point, I actually see myself setting this one aside. I might pull this back out. Maybe, again, I feel like at this time of year, I'm kind of over these fragrances. I might pull this out maybe after the holidays, and pair it with a blueberry scent in January. It's very versatile. I will say that if you're like a genuine just gourmand lover and you're a mood burner and you don't really stick to any kind of season, I feel like this one is going to be pretty safe for you to burn year round. But again, me for a seasonal burner, this is going to be kind of probably a one and done for me. Initially on Cold Sniff, I was like, oh yes, I need a backup. I thought that there was going to be a 4-wick, but upon burn, I've concluded that I think I'm going to be okay with just one of these, and I'm going to hope that they bring salted peach butter back. If not at the end of this year when they do their best of the best, I hope that they bring it back next spring because that was a really, really beautiful fragrance. So let me know in the comment section down below. Have you had this one in the past? If you have, feel free to chime in with what your experience has been with it, especially if you also picked up salted peach butter. Do you agree? Do you disagree with my thoughts? Totally fine. As long as we all remain respectful here, it's totally fine to share your opinion, you guys. And the other thing that I was going to say is if you found this review helpful, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.